guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Sarah, and I just want to talk to, we all know what's going on in the world. Everything's crazy. There's so many people out of work. Nobody knows when they're going to be going back to work. I'm home right now, but my husband is still working. And I think this whole uncertainty thing, we don't know what's going on. We don't know when we're going back to work. We don't know if we are. We don't know if the companies, some of the companies we've worked for, are they even going to be there? You know, there's so much uncertainty, but I want to focus on today on the things that we do have control over, because the rest of it, stressing about it, worrying about it, and all, it doesn't do any good. So the only thing that we can do is focus on the things that are in our immediate control. One of them being our money. No matter how much or how little we've got going on right now, that's the only thing that we have control over. So I was going to do an envelope video, how we do our envelopes, because that's helped us a lot, but I kind of decided to jump back to one before that. I'm going to do the budgeting video first. And the reason is because without the framework of the budget, I don't think the envelopes will make as much sense. So that's what we're going to work on. So I'm going to do kind of like, I'm going to have you go through it with me here. And so I'm going to go get a pen and some paper and my coffee, and you do the same, and then I'll meet you right back here and we'll get this show on the road. So see you in a minute. All right. So I got my pen, my paper, my coffee. Got it. Check. Okay, so this is what I wrote down, and this is just a sample. It's going to be different for everybody, but it gives you the general idea. And I like to get everything out of my head and on paper. I know a lot of people use like, they'll use apps or some sort of budgeting software or whatever. I am a pen and paper girl. That way I can tweak it, I can cross it out, use whiteout, big red pen, whatever. Okay, so here we go. So what I want you to do is, so we're going to write down, for one thing, your income. So you're going to write income on one side, expenses on the other. So you're going to write your, whatever your paycheck is, whatever your income is. This other here, the reason I put that is because, you know, some people clean their mom's house, or some people, you know, do yard work for the neighbor or whatever and get a little bit of money here and there. Or maybe they have a side income. They have some sort of internet business, you know, whatever it happens to be. And then on this side, this is a pain. Okay. On this side, we're going to do expenses. And so first one I have is housing. So, and that is rent, mortgage, whatever. Food, that's the next one. And these are kind of in order. We can't live without, you know, food, shelter, that kind of thing. And utilities, I put that right underneath that because that kind of goes with the house and food thing. The food, I'm not talking about eating out. I'm talking about just groceries. Utilities is your power bill, your electric bill, your water. The next one is transportation, and that's where your car payment would go. So, I assumed most people have a car payment, so that's why I put that down. And then you got insurance for the car, so you can operate the car. And then you have gas, obviously, so you can also operate the car. Phone, and this is pretty much cell phone. I mean, I don't know how many, I don't think very many people have a landline anymore. I suppose you would if you had, you know, kids at home and didn't want them to have a cell phone. You'd have a landline so they could get a hold of you. Internet, for obvious reasons, because that's huge in most homes now. We kind of all need the internet. Well, most of us do. If you don't need it, get rid of it and just use your cell phone. Savings, I wrote that down there because that is an important thing. According to Forbes, you know, only like 63% of Americans can actually cover a $500 emergency. And less than that, it's like 45%, or not even half, can afford $1,000 emergency. So, and what we're dealing with right now, that shows just how important that is. So then you have your debt. So you list your debts here. Not how much you owe them, but we're talking just minimums here. And then entertainment. And right now, because nobody can do anything, that's where, say, Netflix and Hulu would go, is right here, because we're not really doing a whole lot for entertainment. So I want you to write this down, and then here in just a minute, I will show you what, I'm going to kind of put some numbers to these just as a reference. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I wrote down some numbers here. And so at the top, I wasn't exactly sure how much to make this hypothetical family make, but so I just went with 4,200, I'm sorry. And I figured, you know, if they make a little bit of money here and there, and then also if there's two of them working, anyway, this is just, these are not my actual numbers. So we're just going to go with it here. So we've got, this family makes $4,200 a month. That's what they bring home. So we've got housing at $1,200. We've got food at $500, utilities $200, transportation at $400, insurance at $100, gas is $200 because I'm assuming there's 2 cars. And this transportation number, I put down $400 because I assumed that at least one of their vehicles would have a car payment on it, because that's the reality of most people's situation. $200 for, you know, both the vehicles. Phone $100. Internet $50. Savings. These people are only saving $100 a month, which apparently is more than most people are saving. So we're just going to go with it. And then $400 for debt. Now that could be whatever debt you have. I assumed maybe a student loan or 2 and a couple credit cards. So that's where that $400 came in. And then the entertainment, I put down $100 because even though we can't really do anything, we are still, you know, we still have Netflix, we still have Hulu, we still have Disney Plus, we have, you know, those kinds of things. Now, in an actual bare bones scenario, this part from internet down would be gone. That's what I would say. I mean, we're looking at, you know, absolute zero money coming in, blah, blah, blah. That's how this is, this whole thing down here would go. And so that would be internet, savings, you know, debt, entertainment. And this is assuming with the debt thing that you're paying a little bit extra on those. So anyway, this hypothetical family, their expenses add up to $3,350. The actual numbers on this isn't the important part. The important part is what do we do with this number, which is the income, their income minus their expenses leaves them $850. So a lot of this is going to get eaten up, as we all know, by Amazon and by going through Carl's Jr. and Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and all of these other places that we go to. Ordering whatever on Amazon on, you know, with their handy dandy buy now button, or going to the store and, you know, only going in there to buy hot dog buns, you come out with $55 more stuff than you went in there to get. So this leads me to the thought of, so checking out your bank statements, wherever you spend, however you spend money, whether it's debit card, credit card, you know, if you have receipts, that'd be awesome, for like cash or whatever. So you would, let's see here. Just look at all of your expenditures. And that's where that $850 went, or is going. which is why we're only saving $100 a month. So this $850, 90% of that should go straight into that savings account. And everybody's numbers are going to be different here, but the reason I say that is because it is just so incredibly important to me that I'm never in this situation again. And hopefully it's important to you too. We've learned that we're not saving enough as a whole. The majority of us are in debt up to our eyeballs. We may have not just student loans, which, I mean, that's a whole other thing. Not just that, we've got credit cards, we got our washer and dryer, we're paying payments on it, and our TV, and all of these things that we make payments on. And the biggest issue with debt is the risk factor, and we're seeing the risk now. And all of us who thought we had safe jobs, and that's not necessarily the case. So that's my goal. I want to make sure we can get to a place where we're not caught with our pants down again. So so moving forward, in order to ensure this doesn't ever happen to us again, as far as being in this position, because what's going on in the world right now probably will happen again, but that doesn't mean it needs to have the same effect on us that it's having this time. So the biggest thing would be to know where your money's going and to tell it where to go. Give every dollar an assignment and make sure it's doing that. Making sure you have money going into your savings account faithfully every single month. And if you're both still working, whenever I showed this, savings was right here. If you're both still working and things are pretty good for you at the moment, if you can possibly put that savings all the way up here and just give it a number, whatever happens to be. Let's say you don't know, how much you can do right off the top of your head. At the very top, you're going to save. You're going to save whatever happens to be. Say it's $50, say it's $100, whatever, $500, whatever you think you can swing. And then make darn sure that you can, because a lot of the other things are movable. The groceries are movable. The paying extra, debt payments are. The entertainment budget, all of those things, those can be, moved around. And just for an example, if somebody were to tell you that they were going to, if the government decided we're going to pay an extra 20% in taxes, we wouldn't have any choice but to pay it, and then we would figure out how to do everything else. That's the way I want you to think of as your savings. If you can right now, it comes before anything else, because making sure your family is taken care of is the most important thing. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm just looking at my hair. I'm really hoping everything opens back up soon, because I really need a haircut, like something fierce here. So if you like this video and if you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up. And if you think anybody else, show it to somebody else who it might be helpful or whatever. If you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment. I would love to answer them. And plus, if you have anything that you're doing that you think is really helpful for your family, definitely put that in the comments, because then other people who are reading it, can get a great tip from you or whatever. So I'm not a professional at this. I just know what works in our family and what's important to us. And so if that's also important to you, then come back. My next video I'm going to do is going to be how we do the envelopes. And so If that sounds interesting to you, come back again and I will see you next time. And until then, I hope you have a good day. Bye.